Imagine this. A
Is
billionaire
everything
with
all right?
everything money can
Oh
buy,
dear, is
but the
something wrong with the
deadliest threat
tea?
sleeps right beside him. What if your perfect life was a lie? Keep listening to Stories Fear, you won't believe what happens next. There was a very rich man named Kofi. He lived in a big mansion with tall gates and beautiful gardens. Kofi was a billionaire who owned many companies and banks across the country. Everyone in the city knew his name. When he drove past in his expensive cars, people would stop and wave. He had everything money could buy, but he did not know that danger was living right inside his own house. Kofi had been married to his wife, Amma, for 10 long years. Amma was a stunning woman with smooth skin and bright eyes. She always wore the finest clothes from Paris and London. Her jewelry sparkled like stars in the sky. Everywhere they went together, cameras flashed and people whispered. "Look at them," they would say. "What a perfect couple. What a beautiful life they must have together." But wait, here's where it gets dark. Behind those closed doors, a deadly secret was brewing. Can you guess what the maid discovered? Stay with Stories Fear to find out. But behind the closed doors of their mansion, things were not perfect at all. Amma had grown cold toward Kofi over the years. She no longer smiled at him the way she used to. She no longer held his hand or asked about his day. When Kofi came home tired from work, she barely looked up from her phone. She was always busy, always distant, always somewhere else in her mind. Kofi tried everything to make his wife happy. He bought her more jewelry, more cars, more houses in different countries. He took her on expensive vacations to islands with white sand and clear blue water. He gave her credit cards with no limits. Whatever Amma wanted, Kofi provided, but nothing seemed to satisfy her. She always wanted more. Her eyes were never full. Her heart was never content with what she had. One day, Kofi decided to hire a maid to help around the house. Amma complained that the house was too big for her to manage alone. She said she needed help with cooking and cleaning. So, Kofi put out an advertisement for a maid. Many women came for interviews, but one young woman stood out. Her name was Essie. She was simple and humble with kind eyes. Essie came from a small village, very far from the city. Her village had no electricity and no clean water. Life there was very hard. Essie's mother was sick with a terrible disease. The village doctor said she needed expensive medicine and treatment in the city hospital. But Essie's family had no money. They were very poor. So Essie decided to leave her village and come to the city to find work. The journey to the city was long and difficult for Essie. She traveled for 2 whole days on buses and trucks. She had never been to a city before. When she arrived, she was amazed and frightened. The buildings were so tall they touched the clouds. The cars moved so fast they looked like they were flying. There were more people in one street than in her entire village. Everything was strange and new. Essie had nowhere to sleep when she first arrived. She spent 3 nights sleeping under a bridge with other poor people. She was scared and lonely. She missed her mother in her village, but she did not give up. Every day she walked around looking for work. She asked at restaurants, shops, and houses. Most people said no. Some people were rude to her. But Essie kept trying because her mother needed her. When Essie saw the advertisement for a maid at Kofi's house, she prayed hard. "Please God, let me get this job. I need to help my mother." She went for the interview wearing her only good dress. It was old and faded, but clean. When Kofi saw her, he noticed something special. Essie looked him straight in the eyes when she spoke. She did not look down or away. She was honest and sincere. Kofi asked Essie many questions during the interview. "Why do you need this job? Where is your family? What do you know about housework?" Essie answered every question truthfully. She told him about her sick mother. She told him about her poor village. She told him she was a hard worker who would never steal or lie. She said all she wanted was a chance to prove herself and help her family. Something about Essie touched Kofi's heart. Maybe it was her honest eyes. Maybe it was her humble spirit. Maybe it was the way she talked about her mother with so much love. Whatever it was, Kofi decided to hire her. He told Essie she could start working the next day. Essie fell to her knees and thanked him. Tears ran down her face. "Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. I will work very hard. I promise." Essie started working at Kofi's mansion the very next morning. She arrived before the sun came up. The mansion was the biggest house she had ever seen. It had 20 rooms, 5 bathrooms, a swimming pool, and gardens with flowers of every color. Essie had never seen such wealth. In her village, 10 families lived in houses smaller than Kofi's kitchen. But she did not feel jealous. She felt grateful for the opportunity. The first few days were hard for Essie. She had to learn how to use the washing machine and the vacuum cleaner. She had never seen these things before. In her village, they washed clothes by hand in the river. They swept floors with bundles of grass. But Essie was smart and learned quickly. She watched carefully and asked questions. Within a week, she knew how to do everything perfectly. Essie worked harder than any maid Kofi had ever hired. She woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning every day. She cleaned every room until it sparkled. She cooked delicious meals that reminded Kofi of his grandmother's cooking. She washed and ironed all the clothes perfectly. She never complained and never asked for breaks. She was always polite and respectful. Kofi was very impressed with her work. But Amma did not like Essie at all. From the very first day, Amma watched the new maid with suspicious eyes. She did not like how humble Essie was. She did not like how hard Essie worked. She did not like how Kofi praised Essie's cooking. Amma felt threatened even though Essie was just a poor village girl. Something about Essie made Amma very uncomfortable and nervous. Amma started treating Essie badly. She would make Essie clean the same room 3 times. She would complain that the food was too salty, or not salty enough. She would yell at Essie for tiny mistakes that did not matter. When Kofi was not around, Amma's true nature came out. She was mean and cruel. But Essie never complained. She just worked harder and stayed quiet and respectful. 3 months after Essie started working, something strange began to happen. A man started coming to the mansion. His name was Kwame. He was tall and handsome with smooth-talking words. He always came during the day when Kofi was at work. The first time he came, Amma introduced him to Essie as her cousin. She said he was visiting from another city. But Essie noticed something was wrong. Cousins do not look at each other the way Amma and Kwame looked at each other. Their eyes held secrets. Their smiles were too wide. Their laughter was too loud. When they thought no one was watching, Kwame would touch Amma's hand. Amma would lean close to him and whisper in his ear. This was not how cousins behaved. Essie knew it, but said nothing. Kwame started visiting more and more often. At first, he came once a week, then twice a week, then almost every day. He would arrive in his fancy car shortly after Kofi left for work. He would stay for hours. Sometimes Essie would hear them laughing in the living room. Sometimes they would go into the bedroom and lock the door. Essie's heart became heavy with what she was seeing. Hold on, before we reveal the chilling plot, smash that subscribe button on Storysphere right now. Like and share this video so more people can uncover this shocking tale of betrayal. Now let's continue. One day, Essie was cleaning near the living room when she heard Amma and Kwame talking. They did not know she was there. She heard Kwame say, "When are you going to leave him?" Amma replied, "I cannot just leave. I need to get the money first. If I divorce him, I get nothing. We need a better plan. A plan where I get everything." Essie's hands started shaking as she listened. Kwame's voice became quieter. "What kind of plan are you thinking?" Amma laughed softly. "A plan where Kofi is no longer in the picture. Where he cannot stop us from being together? Where all his wealth becomes mine and mine becomes ours. Do you understand what I'm saying?" There was silence. Then Kwame said, "That is very dangerous, Amma." "Are you sure?" Amma replied firmly. I am very sure. I am tired of pretending. Essie's heart was beating so fast she thought it would jump out of her chest. What were they planning? Were they going to hurt Kofi? Were they going to kill him? Essie wanted to run and tell Kofi everything right away, but she was afraid. What if they denied everything? What if they said she was lying? What if Amma fired her and she lost her job? Her mother needed the money for medicine. Days passed and Essie watched Amma very carefully. She noticed that Amma had become very interested in Kofi's schedule. Amma would ask him questions about his business meetings. When is your big conference? What time will you be home? Will you be traveling next week? Kofi thought his wife was finally taking interest in his life. He was happy, but Essie knew better. Amma was planning something evil. One evening, Essie saw Amma on the phone in the garden. Essie was watering the flowers nearby. She heard Amma say, "I found it. The perfect thing. It has no taste and no smell. He will never know. It will look like a heart attack. Natural causes. No one will suspect anything. We just need to wait for the right moment, the right day when everything is perfect. Then we will be free and rich." Essie felt sick to her stomach. Now she was sure Amma was planning to poison Kofi. She was going to kill her own husband for money. How could someone be so evil? How could a wife betray her husband like this? Essie wanted to cry. She went to her small room and sat on her bed. She thought about her own mother who was sick and suffering but would never hurt anyone for money. That night, Essie could not sleep. She kept thinking about what to do. Should she tell Kofi? Should she go to the police? Should she just quit and leave this house? But if she left, who would protect Kofi? And if she quit, how would she pay for her mother's medicine? Essie prayed and prayed. God, please show me what to do. Please give me courage. Please protect Master Kofi from evil. The next morning, Essie decided she would watch Amma even more carefully. She would not let Amma out of her sight. She would protect Kofi, even if it cost her everything. Her mother always taught her that silence in the face of evil makes you part of the evil. Essie would not be silent. She would not let an innocent man die. She would be brave no matter what happened to her. For 2 weeks, nothing happened. Amma acted normal. Kwame stopped coming to the house. Essie started to wonder if maybe she had misunderstood what she heard. Maybe Amma was not really planning to kill Kofi. Maybe they were just talking about leaving him and taking money in a divorce. Maybe Essie had let her imagination run wild. But deep in her heart, she knew the truth. Something bad was coming. Then one Friday afternoon, Kofi came home early from work. He looked very tired and stressed. He told Amma that he had a terrible headache. He said his big business deal had fallen through and he lost a lot of money. He needed to rest and think about what to do next. He went straight to the bedroom without eating dinner. Amma's eyes lit up when she heard this. Amma told Essie to go upstairs and clean the guest rooms. Essie said, "Yes, madam," and started to go. But something in Amma's voice made her suspicious. Amma sounded too sweet, suddenly too caring. Essie went upstairs, but she did not clean the guest rooms. Instead, she stood at the top of the staircase where she could see down into the kitchen. She watched Amma carefully through the railings. Amma went into the kitchen and closed the door, but she did not close it all the way. There was a small gap. Essie could see inside. She saw Amma take out a beautiful china cup. It was Kofi's favorite cup, the one he always used for his evening tea. Amma filled a kettle with water and put it on the stove. She was making tea for Kofi. Essie watched as the water boiled. Amma prepared the tea with a tea bag and sugar. She stirred it slowly. Then she looked around the kitchen carefully. She walked to the door and peeked out to make sure no one was there. She did not see Essie hiding upstairs in the shadows. Satisfied that she was alone, Amma went back to the counter where the tea was waiting. Amma reached into her expensive handbag that was sitting on the kitchen counter. She pulled out a small glass bottle. The bottle was no bigger than her thumb. It had a white cap on top. Alma held the bottle up to the light and looked at it. A small evil smile appeared on her face. This was it. This was the poison she had been talking about on the phone. Essie's whole body froze. She could not move. She could not breathe. She watched as Alma unscrewed the cap of the bottle. Inside was a white powder. It looked like sugar or salt. Alma tilted the bottle over Kofi's cup of tea. The white powder poured out and fell into the hot tea. Alma poured almost all of it. Then she put the cap back on the bottle and hid it back in her purse. Alma took a spoon and stirred the tea very well. She stirred and stirred until the white powder completely disappeared. The tea looked perfectly normal now. No one could tell that anything was wrong with it. Alma lifted the cup to her nose and smelled it. She smiled. Then she put the cup on a small tray with a napkin. She was ready to take it to Kofi. Essie's mind was racing. What should she do? How could she stop this? If she ran down now, Alma would hide the cup. If she went to get Kofi, Alma would throw the tea away and make a new one later. Essie needed to catch Alma in the act. She needed Kofi to see with his own eyes what his wife was doing. But how? Think, Essie. Think. Alma picked up the tray with the poison tea. She walked out of the kitchen toward the bedroom where Kofi was resting. Her high heels clicked on the marble floor. Click, click, click. Each step took her closer to killing her husband. Essie's heart was pounding so hard she could hear it in her ears. She had to do something right now. This was the moment. There was no more time. Essie ran down the stairs as fast as she could. She was not thinking about losing her job anymore. She was not thinking about her mother's medicine. She was not thinking about anything except saving Kofi's life. She had to stop him from drinking that tea. She had to do it now before it was too late. Her feet flew down the stairs two at a time. Alma reached the bedroom door. She balanced the tray on one hand and knocked softly on the door. Come in, Kofi's tired voice said from inside. Alma pushed the door open with her shoulder. She walked into the bedroom with the poison tea. Kofi was sitting up in bed with his head resting against the headboard. His eyes were closed. He looked so tired and innocent. Alma walked slowly toward the bed. She had a sweet smile on her face, the smile of a loving wife bringing comfort to her tired husband. My dear, she said softly, I brought you some tea. It will help with your headache. You will feel better after you drink it. Just relax and drink it all. Kofi opened his eyes and smiled weakly at her. Thank you, my dear. You are so thoughtful. Kofi reached out his hand to take the cup from the tray. His fingers were almost touching it. Alma held the tray steady. In just 2 more seconds, the cup would be in his hands. In 2 minutes, the poison would be in his body. In 2 hours, Kofi would be dead and Alma would be a rich widow, free to be with Kwame, free to enjoy all of Kofi's wealth. Everything was going according to plan. But then the door burst open. Essie came running into the room. Her eyes were wide with fear. Her chest was heaving up and down from running. Her hands were shaking. Both Kofi and Alma turned to look at her in complete shock. What was the maid doing bursting into the master bedroom like this? Had she gone completely mad? This was very disrespectful and strange behavior. Before anyone could say a word, before anyone could ask what was wrong, Essie opened her mouth and screamed. Her voice was louder than she had ever screamed in her entire life. It was a scream that came from deep in her soul, a scream of desperation and courage. Don't drink it, Master Kofi. Please don't drink that tea. Don't drink it, sir. Please. The scream echoed through the entire mansion. Kofi's hand stopped in midair. He pulled it back quickly. He did not take the cup. He looked at Essie with complete confusion. His mouth hung open. What was she talking about? What was wrong with the tea? Alma's face changed completely. The sweet smile vanished. Her eyes became hard and angry. The tray shook in her hands. The teacup rattled against the saucer. Danger hung in the air like thick smoke. Alma's voice came out like a snake's hiss. What is the meaning of this? How dare you burst into this room like a crazy person? Have you lost your mind completely? Get out of here right now. This is very disrespectful. I will fire you. Get out. Amma's face was red with rage. She looked like she wanted to hit Essie, but Essie did not move from where she was standing. Essie was shaking all over, but she found her voice. She looked straight at Kofi. Master Kofi, please. Sir, listen to me. Do not drink that tea. Your wife put something in it. I saw her with my own eyes. She poured white powder from a small bottle into your cup. I saw everything, sir. Please believe me. The tea is not safe. Please do not drink it. Tears started rolling down Essie's cheeks. The room became completely silent. So silent you could hear a pin drop. Kofi looked at the cup of tea in Amma's hands. Then he looked at his wife's face. Then he looked back at Essie. His mind was trying to understand what was happening. Why would his wife poison him? That made no sense. But why would Essie lie? She had always been honest and hardworking. Why would she make up such a terrible story? Amma's voice became even louder. She is lying. Can you not see she is lying? This foolish village girl is jealous of me. She wants to destroy our marriage. She wants you for herself. She has been giving you looks when I am not watching. I have seen her. She is a witch trying to break up our family. Do not believe her lies, Kofi. She is evil. But Kofi was a smart man. He had not become a billionaire by being stupid. He watched his wife's face carefully as she spoke. He saw the panic in her eyes. He saw how her hands trembled. He saw sweat forming on her forehead. Even though the room was cool, he saw her tongue dart out to lick her lips nervously. These were not the signs of an innocent woman. These were signs of someone who had been caught. Kofi stood up slowly from the bed. His headache was forgotten now. His tiredness vanished. All his attention was focused on what was happening in this room. He walked toward Amma with steady steps. His face showed no emotion. He was like a judge about to give a verdict. Amma, give me the cup. Give it to me right now. His voice was calm but firm. It was not a request. It was a command. Amma took a step back. No, she said. This is ridiculous. I am your wife, Kofi. Your wife? How can you believe a maid over me? Someone you have been married to for 10 years? Someone who has stood by your side? How can you doubt me because of the words of a stranger? This is insulting. I am hurt, Kofi. Very hurt by your lack of trust. Give me the cup, Amma. Kofi's voice grew harder. His eyes grew colder. I will not ask again. Give me that cup right now, or I will take it from you. Amma clutched the tray tighter to her chest. The tea sloshed in the cup. Some of it spilled onto the tray. Amma's breathing became fast. Her eyes darted around the room like a trapped animal, looking for escape, but there was no escape. Kofi was blocking the door. Kofi reached out and grabbed the tray. Amma tried to hold on, but Kofi was much stronger. He pulled it from her hands. Some of the tea spilled on the floor. Kofi held the cup up and looked at it carefully. It looked like ordinary tea. It smelled like ordinary tea. But if Essie was telling the truth, this ordinary-looking tea contained death. Poison meant to stop his heart and end his life. Essie spoke again through her tears. Master, she took the bottle from her handbag. The small bottle with white powder. If you check her bag, you will find it. I saw her put it back after she poured the poison in your tea. Please, sir, check the bag. Then you will know I am telling the truth. I swear on my mother's life that I saw what I saw. Kofi turned to look at Amma's expensive designer handbag. It was sitting on the dresser near the door. Amma saw where he was looking. Her face went pale, white like a ghost. No, she whispered. You cannot go through my personal things. That is private, Kofi. You have no right. That is invasion of my privacy. I am your wife. You should trust me. You should believe me, Not some village nobody who cleans our toilets. But Kofi was already walking toward the handbag. Alma ran and tried to grab it first, but Kofi pushed her aside gently. He picked up the bag and opened it. Inside he found makeup, car keys, credit cards, a phone, and tissues. He dug deeper. His fingers touched something small and hard. He pulled it out. It was a small glass bottle with a white cap. Inside was white powder, just like Essie had described. Kofi held up the bottle. What is this, Alma? His voice was shaking now. What is this in your bag? Alma's mouth opened and closed like a fish out of water. She tried to speak, but no words came out. Her face showed pure terror. She had been caught red-handed. There was no way to lie now. No way to explain this away. The evidence was right there in Kofi's hand for everyone to see. Alma suddenly dropped to her knees. The strong, arrogant woman became small and pathetic in an instant. She grabbed Kofi's legs. I am sorry. I am so sorry, my husband. Please forgive me. I do not know what came over me. I was not thinking clearly. Please, Kofi, please have mercy. Do not call the police. Think of our 10 years together. Think of everything we have been through. I made a mistake. Please forgive me. Kofi pulled his legs away from her. He stepped back like she was something dirty he did not want to touch. His face knelled disgust and heartbreak. 10 years, he said quietly. 10 years I loved you. 10 years I gave you everything. And this is what you do. You try to kill me. Why, Alma? Just tell me why. What did I do to deserve this? Did I not give you everything you wanted? Alma was crying now. Real tears ran down her face, but Kofi did not care about her tears anymore. He walked to the phone and called his personal doctor, Dr. Mensah. The doctor lived just 10 minutes away. Kofi told him to come immediately. It was an emergency. He needed something tested right away. Dr. Mensah heard the serious tone in Kofi's voice and said he would come right away without asking questions. While they waited for the doctor, Kofi called his lawyer and his head of security. He told them to come to the house as well. Something terrible had happened and he needed them urgently. Then Kofi sat down on the chair and just stared at the cup of poisoned tea. His wife of 10 years had tried to murder him. His own wife, the woman he trusted most in the world. He felt like his heart was breaking into a million pieces. Essie stood quietly in the corner of the room. She did not know if she should stay or go. But Kofi looked at her and said, Stay, Essie. I need you to stay and tell everyone exactly what you saw. You saved my life today. I will never forget that. Never. Essie nodded and stayed. Alma was still on the floor crying and begging, but no one was listening to her anymore. Dr. Mensah arrived within 10 minutes. He was a short man with gray hair and wise eyes. He had been Kofi's doctor for many years. When he walked into the bedroom and saw the scene, Alma crying on the floor, Essie looking frightened, Kofi looking devastated, he knew something very serious had happened. Kofi handed him the cup of tea and the small bottle. Please test these immediately. Tell me what is in them. The doctor took the items carefully. He held the bottle up to the light and examined it. His face became very serious. Mr. Kofi, where did you get this bottle? This looks like poison. I need to take this to my laboratory right away and run tests. If you were planning to drink this tea, thank God you did not. Just from looking at this bottle, I can tell this is very dangerous. Give me 1 hour to test everything properly. Dr. Mensah left quickly with the cup and bottle. The lawyer arrived. His name was Lawyer Osei. He was an old man who had helped Kofi with business for 20 years. When he heard what happened, his face became grave. Mr. Kofi, this is attempted murder. This is a very serious crime. We must call the police immediately. You cannot handle this alone. This must go through the legal system. Your wife must face justice for what she tried to do. Kofi's head of security, a big muscular man named Yao, also arrived. When he heard the story from Kofi, he became very angry. How could Madame Amma do this after everything you have given her? This is wickedness. Pure evil. Boss, let me call the police right now. This woman belongs in prison. She tried to kill you. If not for this brave maid, you would be dead. Dead, and she would be enjoying your money. But Kofi held up his hand. Wait, he said, let us wait for the doctor's results first. I want scientific proof before we involve the police. I want to be absolutely certain. Even though his heart already knew the truth, his mind wanted concrete evidence. He wanted to know exactly what Amma had put in that tea. He wanted to know how close to death he had really come. While they waited, Kofi turned to Essie. Sit down, child, he said gently. You have been standing for so long. Sit and tell me everything from the beginning. Tell me everything you have seen and heard in this house. Take your time. I want to know everything. Essie sat down nervously. She had never sat in the master's bedroom before, but Kofi insisted, and so she began to tell her story. Essie told him about Kwame, about how he came to the house almost every day when Kofi was at work, about how Amma introduced him as her cousin, but they did not act like cousins at all, about the way they looked at each other with secret smiles, about how they would lock themselves in rooms for hours, about the conversations she had overheard about getting rid of Kofi and taking all his money. Kofi listened to every word. His hands gripped the arms of his chair so tightly his knuckles turned white, his jaw clenched, a vein pulsed in his forehead. So, there was another man. Of course there was. This all made sense now. Amma did not just want him dead for money. She wanted him dead so she could be with her lover. The betrayal was even deeper than he had imagined. Double betrayal, adultery, and attempted murder. Lawyer Osei was writing everything down in his notebook. This Kwame man, he said, we need to find him too. He is part of this conspiracy. He is an accessory to attempted murder. Both of them must face justice. Where does this Kwame live? What is his full name? Essie did not know. She had never heard his full name or address. He just came and went. Always in an expensive car, always dressed in nice suits. Amma, who had been quiet for a while, suddenly spoke up. Her voice was desperate and panicked. Kwame has nothing to do with this. Leave him out of this. This was all my idea. Mine alone. He did not know anything about the poison. I swear. Please do not involve him. This is all my fault. Only mine. She was trying to protect her lover even now. Even after everything, her loyalty to Kwame was clear. Kofi laughed bitterly. So you confessed that you worked alone to try to kill me. You just admitted your guilt, Amma. Everyone in this room heard you. You said it was your idea, your fault. Thank you for the confession. That will make the case very easy for the police. Amma's eyes went wide. She realized her mistake in trying to protect Kwame. She had incriminated herself completely. There was no taking back her words now. Exactly 1 hour later, Dr. Mensah returned. His face was grim. He carried papers with laboratory results. Everyone gathered around him. The room became silent. The doctor looked at Kofi with sad eyes. Mr. Kofi, I have very bad news. That tea contained a very strong poison. It is called cyanide. It is one of the most deadly poisons in the world. Even a small amount can kill quickly and painfully. The doctor continued speaking. If you had drunk that entire cup of tea, you would have died within 1 to 2 hours. First, you would have felt dizzy, then severe stomach pain, then your heart would have started beating irregularly, then difficulty breathing, then unconsciousness, then death. It would have looked like a heart attack to anyone who did not know better. A very clever way to murder someone and make it look like natural causes. The room erupted. Y'all began shouting at Amma. You are a demon, a witch. How could you do this to a man who gave you everything? You deserve to rot in prison. Lawyer Osei was immediately on his phone calling the police. We have a case of attempted murder with evidence and witnesses. Send officers immediately. Dr. Mensah just shook his head sadly. He had seen many things in his career, but this level of evil shocked even him. Amma collapsed completely. She lay on the floor sobbing uncontrollably. My life is over. Everything is over. I am going to prison. Oh God, what have I done? What have I done? But no one felt sorry for her. She had shown no mercy when planning to poison her husband. Why should anyone show her mercy now? She had made her bed of evil. Now she had to lie in it. Within 20 minutes, 3 police officers arrived at the mansion. They were led by Inspector Boateng, a serious man with a thick mustache. He listened as Kofi explained everything. He listened to Essie's testimony. He looked at the laboratory results from Dr. Mensah. He examined the bottle of poison and the cup of tea. He took photographs of everything. This was one of the clearest cases of attempted murder he had ever seen. Inspector Boateng turned to Amma. Madam Amma, you are under arrest for attempted murder of your husband, Mr. Kofi. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you in court. 2 police officers lifted Amma from the floor. They put handcuffs on her wrists. The metal clicked shut with a final sound. Amma's expensive bracelets jangled against the cheap metal handcuffs. The contrast was stark. Rich woman brought low by her own evil deeds. Wait, Kofi said to the inspector. There's someone else involved, a man named Kwame. He has been having an affair with my wife. They planned this together. He comes here regularly when I am at work. I do not know his full name or address, but my wife does. She can tell you. Amma, if you have any decency left, tell them where to find Kwame. Let him face justice, too. Amma looked at Kofi with tears streaming down her face. I am sorry, Kofi. I am truly sorry for everything. You deserve better than this. You were always good to me and I repaid you with evil. I was blinded by greed and lust. I lost my way. She gave the police Kwame's full name and address. Kwame Boma. He lives in the Garden Hills apartments on the west side of the city. Apartment 307. Inspector Boateng immediately radioed for backup. Send units to Garden Hills apartments, west side, apartment 307. Suspect named Kwame Boma, male involved in attempted murder conspiracy. Approach with caution. He may flee. The radio crackled back with confirmation. Units on the way. We will pick him up. Inspector Boateng nodded in satisfaction. Both conspirators would be in custody within the hour. Justice would be served. The police led Amma out of the bedroom. She walked slowly, her head hanging low. Her expensive high heels clicked on the marble floor for the last time. Click, click, click. But now the sound was different. Not the sound of a confident, wealthy woman, but the sound of a criminal being led away to face punishment. As she passed Essie, Amma stopped. She looked at the young maid with something that looked like respect. You are braver than I ever was, Amma said quietly to Essie. You did what was right even though you could have lost everything. I did what was wrong even though I had everything. You are the better person. Thank you for stopping me. I would have had blood on my hands. I would have become a murderer. You saved me from that too. Then she walked on and the police took her out to the waiting car. The neighbors came out of their houses to see the billionaire's wife in handcuffs being put in a police vehicle. Within 30 minutes, the police called back. They had arrested Kwame. He had tried to run when he saw them coming. He jumped out of his back window and ran through the parking lot, but the police were faster. They caught him and brought him down. When they searched his apartment, they found messages on his phone. Messages between him and Amma, plans about the poison, dreams about splitting Kofi's wealth, evidence of their affair, everything the police needed to prove conspiracy to commit murder. Kofi sat down heavily on his bed. The adrenaline that had kept him standing was wearing off. The reality of what almost happened hit him like a wave. He had been minutes away from death. Minutes. If Essie had not been brave enough to scream out, he would have drunk that poison. He would be dead or dying right now. His hands started to shake. His breathing became fast. The shock was setting in. Dr. Mensah noticed Kofi's distress. He gave him something to calm his nerves. Just breathe slowly, Mr. Kofi. In and out. You are safe now. The danger has passed. You survived. Thanks to your maid, you survived? Dr. Mensah looked at Essie with great respect. Young woman, you are a hero. What you did today took tremendous courage. You saved a man's life at great risk to yourself. May God bless you abundantly for your bravery and your good heart. Essie felt embarrassed by all the praise. She was just a simple village girl who did what anyone should do. She did not feel like a hero. She felt like someone who simply could not stand by and watch murder happen. My mother always told me that evil triumphs when good people do nothing. I could not do nothing. I could not let Master Kofi die when I knew the truth. It would have haunted me forever. Lawyer Osei began explaining to Kofi what would happen next. There would be a court case. Both Amma and Kwame would be tried for attempted murder and conspiracy. With all the evidence, the poison, the laboratory results, Essie's testimony, the messages on Kwame's phone, they would surely be convicted. They would go to prison for many years. Amma would lose all rights to Kofi's property. The marriage would be dissolved. Everything she had dreamed of having would be lost. Kofi asked the question that had been burning in his mind. Why? Why would she do this? I gave her everything, every luxury, every comfort. I loved her. I trusted her. Was I not a good husband? Did I not provide well? What did I do wrong? His voice cracked with emotion. The pain of betrayal was worse than any poison. The poison would have killed his body. But this betrayal was killing his soul. Lawyer Osei put his hand on Kofi's shoulder. You did nothing wrong, my friend. Some people are never satisfied. Some people are consumed by greed. You could have given her 10 times more wealth, and it would not have been enough. The problem was not with you. The problem was with her character. She lacked gratitude, loyalty, and basic human decency. You cannot fix what is broken inside someone else. This is not your fault. The news of what happened spread through the city like wildfire. By the next morning, every newspaper had the story on the front page. Billionaire's wife arrested for attempted murder. Maid saves employer's life with brave warning. The poison tea plot exposed. Television news showed footage of Amma and Kwame being taken to prison. Reporters camped outside Kofi's mansion wanting interviews. The story was too dramatic to ignore. Everyone wanted to know more details. Social media exploded with discussions. Some people said they always knew Amma was fake. They said her smile never reached her eyes. They said she only married Kofi for his money. Other people were shocked. They said Amma and Kofi seemed like the perfect couple. How could such evil hide behind such a beautiful face? Everyone agreed that Essie was a true hero. Her name became famous overnight. The maid who saved the billionaire. Requests for interviews came flooding in. Television stations wanted Essie to appear on their shows. Newspapers wanted her story, but Essie refused them all. She did not want fame. She did not want attention. She just wanted to do her work and help her mother. Kofi respected her wishes. He told his lawyer to keep all reporters away from Essie. She deserved peace and privacy after what she had been through. Days turned into weeks. The court case began. The courtroom was packed with people every single day. Everyone wanted to see the woman who tried to poison her billionaire husband. Amma sat in the defendant's box wearing a simple prison uniform. Her expensive clothes were gone. Her jewelry was gone. Her makeup was gone. She looked like a different person, small and defeated and afraid of what was coming. The prosecutor presented the evidence piece by piece. The bottle of cyanide. The laboratory results showing the tea was poison. Dr. Mensah testified about how deadly the dose was. Essie took the witness stand and told her story. She spoke clearly and honestly about everything she saw. The jury listened with their mouths hanging open. How could someone be so evil? How could a wife do this to her husband,